I do apologize. We forgot to turn our audio on. So you've seen me moving my mouth, but you haven't heard any words. That's my bad. So let me start again and start with um, what we're doing today. And what we're doing today is that we are going to do a review of the March 16th information. Thank you. We're going to do a review of March 16th information, which was the first part of the book by Dresser, and that was uh, the duality of self. And in it, the first part, he talks about, he writes, he guides us to how he got there, how he got there, how he got there, and how we get there. And that there's a struggle that goes on, or a challenge, let us say a challenge more so than a struggle, a challenge that goes on between that which stands in the way of our good and that which propels us toward our good. Yeah. That which stands in the way of our good and that which propels us toward it. Now, the thing to understand with our practice in New Thought, we know that we say that God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. So that means God has to be in both propelling us, the energy propelling us toward it, and then the energy that seems to be inhibiting us from getting there. Okay? In both, because God is everywhere. And what Dresser says is that if we study, if we learn meditative practices, that we can find God in the obstacle that is stopping us from going to where we want to go. That we can find God there. That God is there. It has to be there because God is what? Omnipresent. And so much of the first part that we covered on the 16th discussed that there are energies, there is wisdom, there's knowledge that we can take out of that which happens to be an obstacle, that which happens to be a challenge, that we can take from that some energy and use that energy and place it in the energy that's taking us forward, that we can move it, we can transmute it, so to speak, from the challenging energy. What's the wisdom? What's the knowledge? What's the lesson here? And let me use that and put it over here so that as I move forward, I can utilize that to continue toward the goal that I have set up for myself. Hmm? That was a lot of what part one was about. Now, another thing that happened because the audio wasn't up is the fact that I didn't get a chance to. I introduced myself, but you didn't hear me. I'm Reverend R. Kim. This is Unity of Chicago South, Beyond Wall Spiritual Community, the #1 live streaming New Thought online spiritual community from Chicago. And I'll tell this real quick. If you've been here before, you've heard it. How can we say we're #1? Because we're the only 100% online spiritual New Thought community streaming from Chicago. So that's a little thing that I like to share. So with that said, I want to go over a few of the slides to remind us further about week one, part one, and then we're going to get into part two and finish it up and get into the how we can use this to grow. With that said, let's get into it. conscious of it. And then if we become conscious of it, then boom, what happens when we become conscious of it? What happens? We're able to do something about it. You see, we're able to do something. Not at all. It's not the time to be a philosopher about life. No. At that point, just kind of cool it, so to speak. Just kind of cool it. And then, to the extent that one is aware of superior influence, one may entirely negate the lower orders of forces. In general, the lower is the realm of fate, the higher the realm of freedom. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? He says that if we can develop this positive focus, that what happens is it will deal with the negative. So what does that say to me? What does that say to you? What can it say to you? I think that's the issue. What can it say to you? What it can say to you is that even in the midst of the dark, if we can hold on to the light will shine and bring the darkness into the light. It's not the darkness will suck the light out. It's the light will bring the darkness into the light. If we can hold on to the light. So many times, many of us don't hold on to the light. We seep into the darkness. And we say, well, if the light was that strong, I wouldn't even feel this way, right? But the fact of the matter is, if we can hold on, focus, get the consciousness focused on the light, it will bring it in. It will bring the darkness right into the light. It's a difficult job. It's a task, is it not? I'm sure you would agree. Yes, it is a task. Yes, it is a task, but it's doable. And that's one of the things that's so beautiful about this particular chapter in the book, that he's giving us doable instructions, doable ideas. Yes. Okay. Coming pretty much to the end of number 1, part 1. Let's read this one. The moral, of course, is easily drawn. One should push through into the sunlight, right? Live on the higher level as much as possible. Hold on to the ideal. Dwell on the outcome, not on the details of the evolutionary process. What is he saying here? He's saying that you're going to go through something to get someplace. It's very difficult to stay in Chicago and get to San Francisco without going through something to get there, right? If you stay in Chicago, you're going to be in Chicago. But if you say, the travel is going to be long, I'm going by train, I'm going to have to eat. If you're going through the process, and that's what you're focused on, the process, you'll never get to San Francisco. So don't focus on the process as much as, the end result. What I want to do is I want to get to San Francisco, and I know that it might be a challenge here or there, but it'll be well worth it. for me to get there. And then finally, yet there is a lesson to be learned from both points of view. It is through the alteration of mood that one at last sees the laws. What? It is going through the ups and the downs that one sees the law. It's going through the ups and the downs. 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 So it's not about just, I just want it all perfect and beautiful. And it's not about, oh, I struggle so that I will see the Lord, or whatever you might say, or whatever you might believe. The fact of the matter is, there's a balance that we can find that we have to create as we go through the ups and the downs. As we go through the ups and the downs. We're looking for a balance. So when things get a little messy, we say, it's a light. By the way, since I know there's a light, it's messy right now. Is there something I can garner out of this? Is there something I can take out of this to get stronger, to get better on my trip to San Francisco? I know it's there. Can I get quiet enough to see it, to hear it, to allow it to unfold in my life? I'm just saying. Whole lesson right there. So what do you mean, Rev? We can have the whole lesson. How much emphasis are we putting on the negative, and how much emphasis are we putting on the positive? How much emphasis are we putting on the good? How much emphasis are we putting on the bad? How much emphasis are we putting on the victory, and how much emphasis are we putting on the challenge? How much emphasis are we putting there? And we have every darn excuse in the world on why we're putting it on the negative. But if we understand that we're putting it on the negative, and the negative is going to continue to play out. That's where our energy is. Our mood becomes negative, right? Our focus becomes negative, and we generate a negativeness in consciousness, right? So we can continue to do that, but to expect to do that and think things are going to change because we pray 3 times a day, or that we turn around, or that we bathe, or that we whatever, it's not going to happen. And that's unfortunate. You say, well, Ralph, why you say that's unfortunate that it won't happen? It's unfortunate because the lesson is where we put our thoughts, where we put our focus, where we put our mind, where we put our concentration, where we put our awareness, is where we go. It's where we go. So thank you very much, Patricia. So I cannot be thinking San Francisco working toward New York, you see. My energy needs to be toward San Francisco if that's really my goal. And if it's not, because I'm half focused on New York, whenever I run into an obstacle on my way to San Francisco, I'm just kind of out of sorts, right? Just out of sorts. Just out of sorts. Yes. Okay. So we could stop there, but we're not going to stop there. So don't think we're going to stop there. The next step, okay? The next step is to begin by daily practice to acquire a center of equilibrium. There's no vicarious salvation in this world. Okay? You got to do the work. We have to do the work. There's no way we can get around it. We can try, but we must do the work. Each individual must do the work themselves. You can have a guide, you can have a guru, you can have a teacher, you can have so many. Thank you, Reverend Doctor. You can have so many people helping you and lifting you up and holding you up, but until you are ready to do the darn work yourself, it's very difficult for your life to change. We have been given, We have been given power over ourselves. Power over ourselves. And that power is for us to use or for us to give away. My goodness. You didn't say that, Rev. For us to use or us to give away. Yeah. For us to use or for us to give away. There's a word that I want to use that is being tossed about now in the political arena with everything that's going on to tell us that we have, it'll come to me. But let's stay here right now. Observe sincerely when the flood time of spiritual life comes. Observe serenity when the flood time of spiritual life comes. Voluntarily shift attention. Come on. Come on. It's here. The mess is here. The challenge is here. What must I do? You see, what must I do? Not what does my mama do, what my daddy does, my children, my cousin, my minister, my priest, my pope, whatever. What must I do in this moment? What must I do? Now, those of you that are watching, you know what to do. Most of you, and some of you are saying, no, I'm watching so I can learn what to do. The omnipresence means always there, everywhere, present. So what we're being told is shift the attention away from whatever is going on. Fox tells us this too. Fox or Butterworth tells us, just bring your attention right above the problem. Shift that attention voluntarily. Don't have somebody, no, just say, man, right now, sister, right now, brother, right now, in the midst of this, I got to change my thoughts. There's not going to be some kind of panacea. The word I'm looking for is agency, and hopefully I'll use it in a second. It's not going to be a panacea, but it'll be the beginning. As I voluntarily change my thought from what's going on to what is truth. The presence, the omnipresence is right here, right now. Right here, right now. Now, what does that mean to me? How does that work in my life? Because maybe the question is what it means to me that God is here. Maybe I have a definition that is not congruent with the truth. Maybe I'm expecting God to walk on water for me, lift me up out the boat, pick the boat up in me, and carry us to shore. That's a possibility. And if that's the case, it's okay. You see, it's okay that you feel that way, but understand that you feel that way and that you probably have found in your life that's not a truth. You see, you're voluntarily shifting your attention to the truth. And if you are in the practice that we're in, your first truth is that God is present, omnipresence. God is present, omnipresent. So if God is here and I am one with God because I have to be, because God is everywhere present, meaning God has to be with me, then maybe if I'm just quiet enough, if I'm calm enough for a moment, I can hear my way out of this. Maybe. Because we do know that when the ego takes over to get us out of whatever it is, many times we get deeper into the mess than we were before. We depended on ego. What? 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 What you saying here? What you saying here? Wow. This is such an awesome lesson. When things are going well, take note of how you feel. What's your mood? And when things get crappy, remember that mood that you had to know that that's possible. Joy is possible in the midst of this. We sometimes say, this is so bad. There can't be no more joy left in the world. Thank you, Reverend Bonnie. There can't be no joy because this is so bad. I lost so much. This is it. And he said, just if you could, remember when there was some joy and realize that that joy can come again. It sounds like an old Baptist spiritual, I think. Joy can come again. Joy come in the morning. Same kind of concept, you see. But as New Thought practitioners, when we hear that, it should take us into a different place. You say, well, what do you mean? You see, when Orthodox hear that joy is going to come in the morning, they expect God to come, lift them up, and take the boat with them and lift them to shore. No problem with that. But as New Thought practitioners, and all of us are, whether we're students or ministers, we're all practitioners. We should be. We know that that means that it has been here, it can come again, and it comes through my understanding of the presence of God right now, which is absolute good all the time. Even in the midst of garbage, God is still constant, good, and joy. So how do I get there? You see, the difference is God comes to some and we come to God. That's what our agency is. The word I said I was looking for. Our agency is that we have the power to come to God. We have the power to lift ourselves to be lifted. Huh? We are lifting ourselves so we can be lifted. We can't make it all the way. We need a spiritual elevator. But you have to get to the elevator, right? We have to get to the elevator so we can get on, so we can be lifted up. Right? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So when it gets rough, remember the good times. And know because they still are, and they still are available. And the mood that we had then is a mood that we can move to. The mood we can move to. It doesn't matter what the times are, but we can be joyous. We can be happy in that moment. It's not about what's going on in our life. That's not it. It's about the fact that the mood exists. And I know the mood changes things. When my mood changes, my world changes. And I'm here to change my world because I don't like what's going on right now. I'm just saying, just moving on. If you face it calmly, when your lower self presents a temptation, you will husband energy and acquire power to overcome it. Little by little, you will transmute your energy. Okay, come on, talk to me, Rhea. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Just talked about it. We have agency that we can move to the elevator to be lifted up. We can move to God. We can move to the divine to be lifted up. But we have to get to the elevator. Not a big difference between orthodox thinking and new thought thinking, metaphysical thinking. One says the elevator is going to come to them and lift them up. Okay. And one says if you get to the elevator, you will be lifted up. One says whenever you get to the elevator, you will be lifted up. The other says that sometimes the elevator comes to you and sometimes it doesn't. But God is good all the time. And then he says, little by little, you will transmute the energy, the challenging energy. You don't want to talk about devil energy. You don't want to talk about negative energy. The challenging energy into promoting energy, because it's energy. You can't destroy it, right? What did we learn a long time ago? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy can be what? Transmuted into another form. So we're taking energy that is holding us back, that is standing in the way, and we say we're going to transmute that energy to the energy to power us forward to get over what it is. Huh? Come on now. That's what he's telling us. He's sharing this with us. And remember, he's sharing this with us, and he says, you know, I'm not feeling my best while I'm writing this. I have some physical challenges, but I'm practicing what I'm writing. So therefore, I'm going to take the challenges, I'm going to take the feeling that's not so good, and I'm going to use that energy, I'm going to transmute it so that I can write this. Come on, man. This is some good stuff, isn't it? I love this stuff. I do. You know you love it. You love it too. Wow. And then cultivation, huh? Cultivation of inner poise, peace is the prime essential. Man, you gotta get with this one. You gotta get with this one for sure. It's inner peace. I don't care about what's going on around me. That's what he's telling us. Now, this stuff is hard, man. You know, ladies, this is hard. When everything is breaking down all around you and you're supposed to stand there with some inner peace. Well, he's not really saying that. He's saying that while everything is breaking down around you, it might be time to leave, but leave in a peaceful manner. Be poised with moving away from the situation. Your peace, your peace, your poise, your connection to your divine self is going to help you move out of the situation in a peaceful manner. You don't have to, I got to get out of here. Y'all look crazy. Everything's going, doesn't that remind you of anybody? When I say it reminds me of self at various times in my life. But that's not what's necessary. You know when it's time to make a move, and you just quietly move on. Because it's not about disturbing and letting folks know and showing out. It's just about, hey, it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to move out this scenario that I'm in. And I know that I'm connected to this divinity within me, and it's going to help me move out of it because I know it's time. And once that consciousness decides, oh, I'm aware that it's time. Yeah, it's time. I accept that it's time. Then now we are able to get to the elevator. We're walking toward the elevator then to be lifted out. To be lifted out. So the idea is that it's going on inside of me, of you, right? I can't worry about my friends over here. I can't worry about my family over here. I can't worry, you know. Roberta Flack had a popular song that said, you can change my name. It's be all right if you change my name. And she goes through that. My mother won't know me. My father won't know me. It's okay if you change my name. Let's move that into a metaphysical concept and consciousness. It's okay if I change my consciousness. It's okay if I see God differently. If it's okay if I connect with the divine within me to change me. It's okay if the rest of the world doesn't know me. It's okay. It'll be all right. I see I'm dependent upon moving past this negative stuff and this challenging stuff and taking the energy out of it and transmuting it so it'll help me go forward in the positive and the goals that I want, help me get to San Francisco. I'm doing that. And in doing that, I understand that there may be some changes in me. And those changes is to change my name or my way, to change that. And it's okay for me to change that. Sometimes I can't leave these people because they'll think that I am fill in the blank. But now I'm saying it's okay. I'm giving in to what's necessary to change me inside, to create the poise and peace inside, and it's going to be all right. I'm not arrogant. I'm not saying I'm better than. I'm not saying y'all. I'm not saying any of that. I say it's all right for me to have a name change. And in having that name change, the good that comes with it, I'm willing to accept. Because I'm building inside. It's an inside job, and that's where I'm doing my work. This stuff out here is just representative. It's just representative of what has done, what I built in the past. And I'm building now something different. And it doesn't mean that this, what I have here won't go along with me, but it may not. And if it does not, it's okay if you change my ways. It's all right if you change my ways. What? 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 Come on, man. Are you serious, brother? Are you really serious? Are you telling me this sounds like magic? That's my problem with New Thought. It's like hocus pocus, it's magic. No, it's not magic at all. What is being said here is that as we do the work to change our attention, to focus on the inside, to bring the peace forward, to allow the poise to come forward, as we do our work, as we move toward the elevator lifts us up. It says, you ready to go up? He said, yes, I'm ready to go up. It says, okay, let's go. What floor do you want? How high do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? Mercy. Mercy. What is it? Because you're doing the work, and I see you're doing the work, and as you do the work, you just become closer to my energy, which is positive. You come closer to the divine energy experience. So don't worry about if it's there. You think God gonna like me? You think the Christ within is gonna awaken? You think it appreciates what I'm doing? Just do the work. That's so hard, isn't it? I'm just doing the work. Why are you just doing the work? Because I already know that if I do the work, things will happen. What things? I don't worry about what things. I'm dealing with the absolute good. But you had a rough time over there. Remember that? I understand that. You know what? I just took some time to sit down, right? And I pulled from that, a lesson that I can now use to go forward. So I've taken the energy that was in that experience, which was not for my higher good. I pulled the energy out of that and I transmuted it over to the side that says for my higher good. And I will continue to do that step by step, brick by brick. And I'm not going to ask, when does it end? And I'm not going to say, I'm tired. And I'm not going to say, I've worked so hard. And I'm not going to say any of that, because I have a different understanding now that both moods, both of them are a part of me. That's my duality. I'm sometimes not going to feel my best. I'm sometimes just going to feel woe is me. I'm sometimes just going to be too tired to be tired. And I'm sometimes going to be so joyous, and people are going to say, why are you so happy? I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm just happy today. And I'm sometimes going to be so joyous because good things are happening to me and I'm responding. That's my duality. That's it. It's not God and the devil. It's only God. It's me seeing God and me seeing God. And I'm being told now by a dresser that if I start seeing God in that, and I start pulling out the God energy there and moving it over to the I see God, that my life changes. It doesn't stop the other stuff, the challenges from coming. It doesn't. It just allows me to see them differently when they do come, to have a different mood when they do come, to say, you're not going to take me down. I know you're there. You know, in New Thought, I have to check this time. We're getting there. In New Thought, they tell us when we first get in it. I came through Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman, Christ Universal Temple. One of the things was, I cannot be sick. I'm a child of God. I cannot be sick, blah, 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 blah. That's good. I'm not beating up on that. And then as you advance and you grow into this, into the metaphysical practice, and you understand that you're a practitioner, as you get in there, it's like, it's not about, I can't be sick. I can't stay sick. And I can't stay this way because I do have an option here. You see, I do have a focus that I can change from this challenge to hope, to relief, to whatever, however you want to look at it. Myrtle Fillmore being one of the stalwarts in teaching that, as she just kept talking to herself, saying, I know that as a child of God, I don't have to be. I don't have to inherit it. I don't have to. So it's time for me to tell my body, my organs, that we don't have to do this. Power, agency. Power, agency. And as I understand, it was 2 years. I didn't know how long it was. I knew the process, but it was 2 years of talking to herself and talking to her organs and overcoming this challenge. This challenge. So it's doable. That's all we're saying. It's doable. Whatever, it's doable. Do we want to do it? We're running a little over, but we're going to finish this up for sure. Want to definitely do that. I think it's one more slide. I'm not sure. I don't remember for sure. Invite the higher spiritual. Constant reviewing of ideas which, if confidently held, give new tendencies to the subconscious mind. Okay, this is really important. Say why. Say, why is this so important, Rev? Well, because science has proven this to be true. That's why it's so important. That you can create new channels in the brain, new patterns in the brain that is doable. So he's saying, hey, if you keep thinking about this good stuff, you're going to have a different type of thinking. Science says you can create different patterns in your brain, different channels for thoughts to come from, to energize the electrons, the neutrons. So, Rev, you're saying to me scientifically, this is proven? And I'm saying to you, yeah, exactly. So if it's proven scientifically, that means that I can do it. Exactly. So what Myrtle Fillmore did way back in the day was scientifically feasible, even though they didn't know it. There you go. So she was ahead of science in a sense. Wow. Wow. Science is catching up with so much of our practice. That doesn't make our practice this, wonderful woo-woo-woo type of thing. It's a spiritual practice that's connected to our divinity. And science is finding out, yes, there are things that you can do with your divinity to change your human condition. A la Myrtle Fillmore. Remember that. When we leave today, if we don't remember anything else, we can remember that we have the power, we have the agency to affect how we live our life, how we experience this life experience. That's what we have agency for. Yeah, we have agency to change this mess that's going on out here, certainly. And we should use it as we see fit. We protest, we don't protest. We march, we don't march. We write letters, we don't write letters. We call, we don't call. That's our choice. And that's using agency out here. But what about in here? Are we using our agency in here? In here, are we using our agency to change our lives? We want to change what's going on. This is crazy what's going on out here. Do you see it? What's going on? It's crazy. We didn't want this. Are we saying the same thing to ourselves? What's going in here that's creating my out here is crazy. I don't want this. Then realize that we have agency and power, same, to change what's going on in here so it can affect what's going on out here. Just saying. As I say, just saying. Just saying. And now, self-mastery means the triumph over moods, the adjustment of lower and higher tendencies, and finally that this prepares the way for greater triumphs over the flesh. Let's just stay here for a moment. Self-mastery. So if we had any doubt on what this whole chapter has been about, this whole book, it's about self-mastery. One of the reasons you like the old masters is because that's what they talk about a lot. Self-mastery. Self-mastery. And if you're interested in self-mastery, it says what? The triumph over moods. When I am down, down can't take me down. Down can't take me down. Down cannot take me down. Think about that. When I'm down, down cannot take me down. But I can lift down up to get to the elevator. I can lift down up. That's where I stand now. I get down, but I don't let down take me down. So I recognize this is not my best day. I don't care about the sun shining. This ain't my best day for whatever reason. That's a mood. Now that I understand that that's a mood, I know that that mood can take the whole day down. It can take the sun out the sky for me. But down cannot take me down. So I will lift down up to the sun. Because that's my self-mastery. That's my self-mastery. And if I need to remember when there were joyous times, I will remember those. He told us that earlier. I will hold on to those and I will say, man, there was a day when the rain was going on. And I remember I came outside, I jumped in a puddle accidentally, stepped in a puddle, my feet were wet. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed because it was such a silly thing that happened on such a day. That's the joy I want to feel right. I'm transmuting that energy of that experience that had already changed. I found some joy in it. I'm pulling that son of a gun out and I'm bringing it right here because down ain't going to take me down today. See, that's the difference in I cannot be sick. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. But it's not going to take me down. I don't know where I got on that so hard. It was really good though, wasn't it? I enjoyed the heck you do out of that. Let's go one more time. Let's go one more time. We exist, at least in this life, for the discovery, development, and value of that experience. What? What's this guy telling me? He's telling me that I'm here to experience the down, and I'm supposed to not let it take me down? Wow. I'm here to develop self-mastery? Wow. Well, I know we are near the end. We're over, and I appreciate you guys staying with it. But we have to move on. We have to get over with this situation. So to do that, let's I think there's one more slide there. Okay, we should not measure the world by our despair or pain. Your life then has a meaning. There's a person, there's a reason why you are here. You are needed. I think that's just a great place to end it today. You are here because you are needed. We are here because we are needed. I can go into a long diatribe of why we're needed. If we weren't here, the vegetation would overtake everything. You can look that up. But as I said, we're here. I appreciate you guys staying with it as long as you have. We normally don't go over. Got a little excited today. Plus, we had a little bad issue, a little challenging issue at the very beginning where audio wasn't on. So without further ado, I say to you, thank you so much for sharing this time with Unity of Chicago South Spiritual Community, the #1 online New Thought community streaming from Chicago. And more than anything else, I appreciate you enduring my joy on this day. I'm Reverend Arkan Turner, one of the ministers here. And I want to let you know that we love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you. Namaste.